Hello and welcome to our channel. Welcome to Thankfullytrue. If you're new to the channel, then do subscribe and follow our journey. And if you are already an existing subscriber, then thank you. Thank you for revisiting. Thank you for always liking the videos. Thank you for your comments. We really appreciate them, and let's keep them going. I have my notes in this fancy book because I don't want you to see the dingy exercise book that I'm using right now. I am the wife of Mark Roberts. Our eldest daughter is Rael. Our daughter Roxy is 8. Our son Terrell is 7. Our son Kenzie is 5. Our son Niall is 3. Our youngest son is Hezekiah. Trying to think, did I miss anyone out? No, I didn't. You tell me below if I missed anyone out. That's dreadful. I haven't missed anyone out. Our youngest son Hezekiah is 1. So today's honest chat about being a housewife. I mean, what springs to mind when you think about being a housewife? Being a housewife is by far the most rewarding job I've ever done in my life. Even as a young child, I was surrounded by housewives. I was surrounded by women that committed to their families and maintained their family home, and their number one priority was their family. So I've seen it growing up. I've felt it as something that is what I'm supposed to do. But then as you go through school, you go through college, you go through university, you're told, and through the media, you're basically told that is not something that you should be doing with your life, and it's quite misleading. More recently I felt like, it's the words really are calling. This is my calling, this is what I've been called to do, this is what the universe, this is what God, this is what I'm supposed to be doing for my family, and this is why my family, and along with all the other elements that make us up, are thriving, not just surviving. We are thriving. And when I first met Mark, I was already a mother to Rael, and she was 10 at the time. I was always juggling being a mum, being a carer as well for my grandmother at some point, and studying part-time and at times working. So it was always a very busy, wearing many caps throughout the day. It's prepared me for the many hats that I wear as a wife, as a mother, as a home educator, this busy period of my life. And I'm so grateful for that, because I'm holding this with great honour to be able to be a housewife. And not only for the fact of the title, the label, but the feeling that it gives, the feeling that I get that I am fulfilling what I've been called to do. And it's really interesting because when I met Mark, when we had certain discussions about the way we wanted to raise our family, it just really fit. It really fit. Being a housewife fit. Being a mother, a home educator fit. The ideas that we had about the way we want to raise our family. And it was funny because when I met Mark, I knew I was there. I knew I was at that point where this is where I was going to feel that I could fulfill that role properly. That did not come without struggle though. I really struggled. I really struggled with being looked after. I struggled with not being the breadwinner or the financial provider. I struggled with not being all the things that single parents, when they get into a relationship, struggle with. I struggled really hard. I started to feel like I wasn't doing enough. I always felt like I needed to do more. And don't get me wrong, I'm still on that journey. I've learnt so much, and I think that's because I was able to embrace Mark's leadership as he does so with love at the centre of everything, with care, with guidance, with protection. So I was able to let go. He never once made me feel like I should be providing. He always made it clear of where he would like, where he expects, and what he wants for his family. His visions in that sense were always and are always still clear. So even when I struggled, and the leadership that Mark has for us as a family, that Mark has for us as a family, and I could instantly get back on track. And that is really powerful. And even if we do have rough times, it's to lead the way for the next. No one is perfect. What is it? What is perfection? Don't ever look at us and think we're perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect family, perfect marriage, but what we are is committed, and we're committed to making sure that our growth represents what we want for us, for our family, for our now, present, and our future. Not just us, generations to come. The representation that we have now will matter then. It will matter for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. It will matter for our nieces, our nephews, our great-nieces and nephews. It will matter for children that we don't even know, that are not even in our bloodline. It will matter for them too. Being a housewife is extremely long hours. I don't even call it long hours. You are just, from the time you are, say, married, if that was your journey first, or having children first, you are on call. I take each hour as it comes. I always give this advice to people: take each hour as it comes. Don't say, oh, tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow is far away. Let's try and replenish the hour now. So at every hour, kind of do a little emotional and mental reset. Right, it's a new hour. What's this hour going to bring? I'm ready. People do ask me, how do you get a break? How do you get a break? And at first I think, what's a break? What is a break? Because even when you're not with your children, you're still thinking about it. You're still thinking about that sock that you couldn't find this morning. You think, where did that sock go? Because I had the two socks at the time by the shoes, and then when we went to put our shoes on, the socks weren't there. And you could be at a restaurant with a glass of vino thinking about the sock. What's a break? What's a break? I guess it's not so much a break and time to myself that I feel I need or want more of. It's probably time with my husband that I feel more pulled towards. I don't feel pulled towards having time by myself. I can do that within my busy lifestyle. If I want to shut off and do something for me, I do. If I fancy doing yoga on my own, I'll do it. The children are quite self-sufficient, and that is something that we've always instilled in them and encouraged them, I should say, and facilitated them to do and to be able to do, is to sometimes get bored, which leads to creativity, and sometimes not be bored, just find things to do and get on with it, and sometimes not have much to do and be fine with that and relax. But I think that has really helped me to be able to have that space, I should say, To not feel that I need to be wiping down the sides and the skirting boards just because I've got a free half an hour. No, I can lie my back on the rug and do some yoga if I want to. Or I could just lie there and think, reflect, do some affirmations. I could lie there and think about candy floss. It's up to me. Do you know what I do a lot of the time actually? A lot of the time, if I feel like I need a quick regenerating feeling, get everyone ready and go to the fields. Yes, I'm with everyone. Yes, we're trying to find the sock. But once I get outside into that countryside air, everything just lifts. Cannot tell you how much just going outside does for me. And different things will apply to different people as well. Because I want to prioritise my time in a different way, because I need to have the energy and the frame of mind to be able to communicate with my children apart from delegating tasks. I want to be able to talk to them. I want to be able to openly be present with them. I want to play. I like playing. I really like playing. I like doing jigsaws. I like reading books. I like running on the fields. I like, more recently, riding my bike. I like going on their skateboards. I like skates. I like things like that. So I want to keep doing that, keep being creative. I love to sew. I love to do all sorts of things. So in order to have the time to do those things, which in the broader term is my lifestyle of therapy, my therapeutic lifestyle, I need to be able to keep up my creativity. Make chokers like this one. Surplus material and broken jewellery, and I just make extra bits from stuff that would otherwise be thrown away. And I do that as a creative outlet, and that feeds me with my time. So it's not so much me needing to go to a different place to be away from everyone at this stage of my life where it's busy. Maybe later on, yes, I will need to do more of that, but at the moment, in this busy stage of life, I have to find within my lifestyle my therapeutic pleasures, and that's ways that I stay sane. People say, how do you keep everyone happy? And I think, well, I focus on myself and my husband, and our children automatically fall into that, if you get what I mean. Yes, I do focus on their individual needs, talents, wants and love. You know, in different ways needs are met, but to be pottering around trying to please everyone at every minute of the day, and that is when burnout occurs. Trying to please children sometimes can be like trying to pick rug fluff off a lollipop. Sometimes it's just impossible, like there is just no pleasing. So I tell you what, Mark's alright, I'm alright, you're alright. Someone asked me if I ever sit down during the day. I was like, yeah, what? I have recently started to force myself to sit down other than at meal times, because I feel like I don't want to tire myself out for the evening and then be like moody towards the evening, the night, or ratty when it's bedtime and I'm not being listened to. I've found that if I rest a little bit, or even if it's like I said earlier, a candlelit bath in the day, I know that's my reset for the evening, because it can be a lot. To me, being a housewife is not just trying to fulfill the role as in get everything done. It doesn't work like that, does it? Spending time with your husband, spending time with the children. Being a housewife is about being able to delegate tasks. Being a housewife is more than a role, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of learning. It's a lifestyle of cooperation. It's a lifestyle commitment. I think managing my laziness has been, I'm not naturally a lazy person anyway. I am very, hands-on. Whatever I do, I need to do 100% in. When you do the okie dokie and you put your whole self in. I put my whole self in and I glide with it. And I keep looking for ways on how I can improve. One way, good old listening. Yeah, it's hard to listen, it really is. Have you tried listening? Try listening. Hard. Hard. Yeah, try listening. Listening is not easy, That has to be one of my most challenging tasks, was to listen. And there's listen with intent as well. Like listen, not to answer back or to give a better spoky version of what you're drumming up in your head, but just stop and listen and take it in and absorb it and sit with it. Try it. We will never, sometimes as women, we don't want to admit that we're lazy. We want to play the I'm the most tired game. Don't listen. I know you know. Anyway, I'm so tired. You know what I've done today? Eh? Yes, we know how tired you are. The tired argument could go on for years. No one is more tired than the baby, okay? The baby is most tired. Forget you, forget him. The baby is the most tired. The baby wins. Laziness is something that sometimes I feel we use excuses. Let's get back to me. I have used excuses to make me feel like I don't have to do something. So if I'm going to clear down the kitchen at night, and this is after all evening snacks, but then you've got to, do the pots and wipe the cooker and, make sure the floor's mopped or swept. Making it clear for the next morning, because the last thing you want to do is come down in the morning and see elements of yesterday. Before I go to bed, I clear down so that there's nothing. So I make sure that laziness does not kick in and stop me from doing that. I feel that is my duty to make sure that I battle my laziness. Because if you were working a job and you had a certain amount of hours to get things done, you go above and beyond for that boss. You'd go above and beyond. I would go above and beyond to make sure that I've done my role. So I do the same in my house. More recently, I have actually started to delegate a bit more. So Roxy, Terrell, Kenzie and Niall, they have their roles, they have their jobs within the house too. Nothing's set in stone or in print, but it's mainly that they know how to do these tasks. And most of the time, if I'm honest, they offer, and I hope that continues. I will encourage that to continue. They'll do things like sweep the stairs. Kenzie today vacuumed the whole downstairs area. It's part of their daily kind of lifestyle, is to help in some way. It's for yourself and your family, is what I always tell them. All of those things need to be delegated, because I cannot do all of that and stay. That is when you do burnout, seriously, when you try to do every little sock. And then you have to learn to let go, don't you? Think about it really. It's more of this parenting journey is about letting go, isn't it? To move with a rhythm that is suited to the many personalities of the house. Some days, yeah, they'll come downstairs and would get a PJ Masks princess with a woolly jumper on and wellies, or roller skates, or would get Incredible Hulk with a PJ Mask on, the cape, wellies, wanting to wear a puddle suit. Fine, that's okay. Let's just go. I mean, the only time we put our foot down with the dress code thing is like weddings, like formal occasions. But even so, they like to dress up. Sometimes Niall comes down in a full 3-piece suit. Kenzie as well. They just feel like dressing smart. We're wearing a 3-piece suit today. Okay, fine. The wash basket is not the enemy. Stop kicking it. What do you mean? Don't you kick the wash basket? Okay, this is really honest. I used to kick the wash basket. I used to kick it sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes, like probably like once every 3 days. Because at one point it just wouldn't go down. And you know, you can see the things at the bottom of the basket that you're trying to get to because you don't want it to go mouldy and funny and smelly. Because these are children, like they're going to have dirty clothes, like, and the basket just wasn't going down. So I kicked it. And it didn't feel good, but I felt better. At least I touched it. Anyway, so I managed to work out a system of how to get the basket down, and that is to not try to empty the basket. When you're in a large family, literally just finished all the washing and someone would just walk past and drop a pair of shorts, boxers, 2 socks, a t-shirt and a hoodie. And you're like, that basket. The basket was clear. It was clear. It was clear. 10 minutes ago. Don't try and empty the basket. Just know that every night I put a wash on before I go to bed. Then I know in the morning I've got a wash to hang out. That's it. What more can you do? What more could you possibly do? Don't get me wrong, if there are a few days where I haven't for whatever reason, so we can go, I'd say 4-5 days without doing any washing. After that, people start running out of stuff, and that is how I keep the basket not flowing over. Minimalise. Have less clothes. Have less things in their drawer, in our drawer. Would you believe me if I told you that all of my clothes can fit in one black bin bag? Would you believe me? I'll show you one day if you want, because they can. Yeah, minimalise, because I do feel that we have too much stuff. Things shift, things change, and that's okay. That is okay. I think it's good for your family to have shifts and change. It's where the diamond in the rough really comes out in you. To embrace change is so important. When you look at it, what you were doing a year ago would not work for your family now. Change is inevitable. Change is going to happen. So we have to be open to that, and we have to move with that. And even as a housewife, nothing is the same every day. There are things that run the same, but you have that power to make it different if you get bored. For me, being a successful housewife, when I think about that, it's a journey. A successful housewife to me is someone who is willing to learn, willing to adapt, willing to be led, willing to be protected, willing to be a priority, and willing to be loved. Those things do not come easy. They do not come easy, but with time, with patience, and with, most importantly, commitment, it does. It comes. It flows, it flourishes. The things that have been really important to me is how I can be of service to Mark, how I can make him thrive, not just survive, how I can be just not creating any stress for him whatsoever. I'm not talking about the outside stresses of what men face, because men do have to carry a lot. More than would ever realise, because they're so quiet with it. But men carry a lot on their shoulders, and we're to appreciate that. So, not in turn but as a standard and a basis for our marriage, I try to make sure I always remember the things that are important to Mark for him to thrive and for him to be happily married. Our respect. Respect is everything to a man. Everything. That's how you communicate love to your husband, is through respect. And just general attention and care and interest. Be really interested. So thank you for joining us. If there are any areas you'd like me to elaborate on, I will do so either via live on our Instagram, and that's Thankfullytrue on Instagram or on Facebook. Do please smash the like button. I've tried to be as honest as possible, but can I just point something out about honesty? We're honest in all of our videos, like how we are is how we are. Yes, we have our times where there's probably a tantrum or one of the children have a tantrum, but generally speaking, we are quite a positive family. But then at the same time, there are down days. There are days where we're not feeling 100%. Right now I've got a cold, didn't feel great, but still muscled on and did this video. Mark set up all this for me, set up the lightings. All he wanted me to concentrate on is what I was going to be talking about as my topic. So we set up the camera, I'm mic'd up, got my lighting. So smash the like button for us please, and leave us a thank you in the comments if you've enjoyed this content, and also please don't forget to tick your notification bell, because YouTube are going on nuts at the moment with this algorithms thing. It is crazy. If you do feel like you want to share this with other housewives too, please do. If you're not a housewife, this does not exclude you, okay? That was not my intention. However, I want to speak from an honest place, and I can only provide that from the place of where I am, my wisdom and my knowledge of what I am doing. I cannot speak on behalf of others, so it's not to exclude anyone, but it is to speak as an honest chat from myself, from my heart, from my family to yours. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you very much for joining me. Is that it? Do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more? Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? I know I'm going to look back on this and say, why didn't I talk about? There's always something that you forget in a video, isn't there? There's always something. But it's alright, we can catch up. But I hope this was enough to give you an insight into my experience of being a housewife. Yeah, bye.